we cannot, in any circumstances, trust anything that comes out of the mouths of those who are imposters within our structure of government as prescribed through the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act.
So the proposed referendum question is a proposed law to alter the Constitution to recognise the First Peoples of Australia by establishing an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice. Do you approve this proposed alteration? So nothing about the specific section that they're going to amend. And again, as I explained on the recent video update, does the preamble to the Commonwealth Constitution not say the people of New South Wales, Victoria? So how does that not include the indigenous people anyway?
Well, first and foremost, it is beyond the power of any legislator in this country to adjust any of the first 8 clauses, including the preamble, to the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900,
Absolutely.
United Kingdom.
Correct.
We only have the power to, through Clause 9, being called the Constitution.
And as you say, they don't tell you which part of the Constitution they want to actually amend.
And it's only a proposed. So one needs to look at what happened in 1968 from memory regarding the referendum that was already held, which struck out Section 127 and 51, Section 5126 of the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution, which dealt with the Aboriginal people. And I mean, that's discrimination in and of itself, and quite correctly, It was removed. So automatically those people fall under the preamble, which is beyond the power of any legislator to adjust. They automatically fall under what's known as the people.
Daryl, I've got another spin on this, because I believe this particular inclusion into the Constitution by referendum is not necessary, as the power that they seek is already within the Constitution.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Now, Section 5126 of the Constitution provides a power for the Parliament to make laws for the people of any race for whom it is deemed necessary to make special laws. Now, that covers what they're trying to bring into the Constitution. The power already exists. The power is not required. This is a waste of time, and this is an attempt. This is an attempt to steal the sovereign land rights of the indigenous peoples of this land. It's an attempt to a backdoor Waitangi Treaty, Australian style, where the Crown will acquire, by bringing the Aboriginal people into the Constitution, specifically ownership over their land, giving the Australian government power over and exclusive ownership to the homes, businesses and farms of every Australian.
And of course, if I look at Section 128 of the Constitution of the Commonwealth, which is where the powers of referendum lie, the Parliament of Australia has no power to bring about a referendum.
Absolutely.
There are only 2 entities recognised with respect to any form of legislation within the Commonwealth of Australia. One only needs to go to Section 1 of Clause 9 of the Constitution to read that those 2 powers lie within what's called the Parliament and the Parliament of the Commonwealth. The Parliament of Australia has no legislative powers whatsoever granted through that UK legislation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all just a ruse. It's all smoke and mirrors. And again, we urge everyone to vote a resounding no. A resounding no. Do not fall for the government hype and the media tactics and all the rest of the rubbish. The reality is that the majority of the indigenous people don't want it anyway themselves because they know what it's all about. They know what it leads to.
Absolutely.
So it's once again, it's a tiny minority, as we've seen time and time again over the last few years. A tiny minority are trying to push for this when the reality is the majority don't want it. But we, the majority, need to stand up. And we need to make it clear with our actual votes that we do not want this. We do not agree. We do not consent.